You know, one of the most effective techniques to kind of keep in mind and use, particularly during caddis emergencies, is to pull your fly under and let it pop up in front of feeding fish. And quite often I'll fish an ex-caddis. Fish doesn't come up and take it. I'll put just a little jerk on it, just enough to pull it under the surface, pops up in front of feeding fish. It can elicit a really aggressive rise. What I'll do is I'll cast out with a fly, I'll let it drift close to the fish, a few inches from it, and then either a sideways jerk or sometimes an upward jerk or a downward jerk, whatever it takes to pull that fly under. Quite often I'll just a few inch jerk like that, just enough to sink the fly and have it pop up right in front of that fish's nose. Quite often they just can't resist it and they'll take the fly, your ex-caddis, right then. You know, tying the iris caddis, which I think is probably the most effective emerging caddis pattern, it imitates an emerging pupa. And what I do here is I tie the loop wing, but I do not trim the butt ends. And when I'm tying it, I tie a pheasant tail body, tie on the loop wing after a shuck, and then I dub around the loop wing and trim it to form these butts. And these butts form a waking post, which is a very important feature, design feature, to this simple fly pattern. Same thing with an ex-caddis. I'll leave the butt ends of the deer hair and trim them and leave the butt ends fairly extending out over the hook shank, or the eye of the hook, and that will wake and skitter the pattern as well. Quite often when several different species of caddis emerge, they wake, they skitter, they wake in the current. And simply what you want to do with your rod is just impart a little motion, like I'm doing to that caddis, that iris caddis right there, just waking it, and then I can skitter it too by just moving it a little faster like that. So again, I like to wake it, basically like that, just let it wake, because again, several caddis species get caught in their shuck and they just kind of wake, or you can skitter it. See, I can make it kind of hop along just like this. Last night on the Madison, tremendous caddis evening, the first one of the summer actually, the end of June. And I had to wake the fly or I had to skitter it. The rainbows like it skittered. They like that fly with a lot of motion, like right like that. And I do that just simply by twitching the rod. Brown trout like a little bit more subtle, and they don't like quite as much action. So consequently I cast it out and I just let the current wake it. See how that wakes? Throws a little bit of wake. And you got to watch it. They take it very aggressively, and if you set a hook like you're setting it on a largemouth bass, you're going to break your tippet.